Rack and roll, shadows of Centris. You know you two will need to let go eventually, right? Koa asks Nita and Nika. Each one of them is hanging off his arms with a vice-like grip. We're making sure every floozy knows you're ours, Nita announces. It's important to establish that my sister and I are your first wives. Otherwise, any random hussy might make a grab for you, Nika explains. Isn't that the whole reason we're coming here? You two wanting to parade me through this spire to get more sister wives? Koa asks. He has reservations about this. He hadn't been ordered to do this, but had been told to consider it again from his initial reaction of an immediate no. It is, but that doesn't mean we just let any random floozy to grab onto you and force her way in, Nika says. And why do we need to have more wives? Am I too much for you girls? Koa teases. Yep, Nita says. Oh yes, Nika replies. Also, the more sister wives in a family, the stronger the family is. The more money there is and the husband and children are better kept. I didn't realize that I needed to be kept. The undaunted are fairly robust as a people, Koa remarks. Look, I get it. You're trying to be Mr. Tough Tret. Human. My species is still human, Koa corrects. Sure you are, Nika says, kissing him on the forehead. Anyways, yes, husbands should be kept. Men are valuable. There's not enough, and the fact that you undaunted use men as soldiers is horrible. It's very practical among humans. Without axiom, men are stronger and are born at the same rate as women. Sure they are, Nita drawls. Don't worry, one day you'll wake up to reality. Right. Anyways, you little bimbos, is there anything you're aiming for? Are you trying to breed me with a certain race? Are CEOs a race? Nita asks Nika, who shakes her head. No, that's a job. What would that even stand for as a species classification? Nika asks in curiosity. Crawling endothermic omnivores? Koa asks. Endothermic? The sisters ask at once, revealing once again that though Nika is the wiser of the two, that it's not, by much as nothing, to boast about. Never mind, Koa says. Which way? Up 2 levels and down a few streets, Nita says, pointing towards the rising platforms at the edges. Then why didn't we start on the higher levels? Why would we? Nika asks, honestly baffled. So there would be less of a distance to travel. Koa answers. But then we'd have had to take the lifts closer to home, Nika protests. We already had to take them twice. What's 2 more times before going on to the public transport? When you have to do your job, it's best to start with a quick burst and end with a quick burst, Nita says, and Koa pauses and thinks. But if you get the big stuff done first, then you can relax and sweep away the little stuff. Koa rebukes. But it's so much work, Nita protests. You have to do the work anyways. Get it all over with, then relax, Koa replies. Then how can you enjoy relaxing if you're so tired? Nika asks. Relaxing is so you stop being tired so you can go and do more things, Koa remarks. What? That's just silly, Nita protests. She's right. A life where you only rest to get more done is horrible. They're not abusing you on that ship, are they? You keep saying no, but it's so awful sounding. It's not like that. Relaxation is one thing, but recreation is another. Personal projects, skills, and talents. I'm not a professional singer, but I sing for fun. I'm not a professional cook, but I like cooking. My job is to be a soldier, not a singer or a cook. If I only relaxed and lazed around during my off time, I wouldn't have either of those talents. I guess, but why even bother learning things like that if they're not how you make money? I mean, it's already weird that you try and earn money. Need to break you of that bad habit. But you won't have to work soon enough. With enough sister wives, you'll never have to work again and only have to worry about being a good husband and father. Nika explains, and Koa lifts both his arms to quickly look from Nika to Nita. If either of you little ladies think that I'm going to stop being a soldier for the undaunted, then you've got another thing coming. I'm a soldier. My whole family has a solid and proud legacy of working to bring order and stability around us. From children's aid to police to firefighting to my work in the army, we all do our part. But you won't have to, Nika protests. If we have just 20, then all of us only have to give a little bit of money and you can live a wonderful life. And all you have to worry about is helping us have as many babies as possible. That sounds horrible. A life with no direction, no goals, nothing to strive for or prove yourself against? That's awful, Koa remarks. No, it's not. I'd love a life like that, Nita protests, and Koa snorts as he lowers his arms. Maybe for a short while, but after a few weeks, maybe a month, it would wear thin and I'd be going insane for want of something to do. Some limit to push, some obstacle to overcome. Koa remarks as he steps onto the lift and nearly starts as they start rising into the air. It's okay, Nita says. Our wings are small but strong. One of us alone can catch you. You're only safer in bed, Nika assures him. I know, it's just a little reaction, Koa assures them, and the sisters lean to the side to look at each other. They both look down a different side and spend a few moments switching back and forth to try and get the proper twin telepathy thing going, but keep missing until Nika holds still and lets Nita catch up. What are you two doing? What they're doing is plotting. The moment he steps off the first rising panel, they unfurl their wings and start flapping hard. What the hell? Koa demands, and has to resist thrashing as he's suddenly pulled straight upwards. Tiny wings beat with immense power as all three of them shoot up like bullets. In moments, he's stepping on to the next level. Feeling more comfortable? Nika asks as Nita giggles. Some warning would have been nice, Koa remarks. Then where would the adorable yelps come from? Nika asks. I didn't yelp. Yes, you did. A yelp is a high-pitched exclamation. I did not do that, Koa asserts, and Nika pouts at him. While adorable, no amount of pouting will change the fact that I did not yelp. Then let's hear a yelp, Nita shouts, and with a twist of axiom, Koa is thrown backwards and into the open air. Koa's jaw clamps shut as color bleeds out of the world. The adrenaline already spiking through his veins has slowed everything to a bare crawl. He grabs the axiom. It's not his favorite tool, but it will suffice as he adds it to the adrenaline already sending his mind and body into overdrive. He then grabs his boot knife and shirt in a single move, rams the knife partway through the sleeve and runs axiom through them both to reinforce them as he then hurls the knife into the reinforced side of the spire level. His fall turns into a swing and his boots slam into the side of the spire level, giving him all he needs to rock it up. Another twist of axiom and the knife comes out as he rolls back onto the level he was just thrown from with his knife in an ice pick grip with his shirt in his other hand. It takes a moment for him to stop huffing in enormous lungs of air and stands up slowly. Whoa, that was incredible. I didn't know you could move that fast. Sweet goddess, this is so cool our husband is, Nita begins to babble. What the hell is wrong with you? Koa barks at the tiny woman who backs away in shock. Husband, Nika begins. Are you two completely insane? Why would you throw me off a spire? Is there anything at all between your ears but skin and bone? Is there any electrical activity going on at all in your head? He's not shouting, but he's certainly projecting his voice hard enough that both sisters are backing away in fear from its sheer presence. Electrical? Nita asks. This is not the time for biology 101. Why did you throw me off the spire? Koa demands, and the sisters rally together. I thought it would be funny, Nita asks, rather than answers. How is my being reduced to a pile of gore funny? He demands. We would have caught you, Nika asks, and Koa groans in frustration as he sheathes his knife and nearly wrestles his shirt on in his frustration. He takes a deep breath and forces himself to calm down, even as his adrenaline crashes hard, and a wave of lethargy starts to move through him. Side effect of charging it with Axiom, it burns out fast. See that? He asks, pointing to an air transport as it passes by. It's an air hauler. They're all over the place. And if one had gone screaming by as I fell, how pretty would I be if I were slammed into the front of one of those monsters moving so fast that it's already passed by the time you hear it, because some do go that fast. We'd have caught you first? Nita tries, and he raises an extremely unimpressed eyebrow. I'm sorry? Are you? He asks. I'm sorry! I'm really sorry! She shouts, and he heaves a sigh. The exhaustion is hitting him, and being angry just takes more energy. I'm going to get a snack and calm down. What you did was incredibly dangerous and incredibly stupid. It doesn't matter if you can save them. If you throw someone into danger, then it better be someone you either hate or don't care if they are hurt. Because nothing is perfect, and there's a chance, a very real chance, that when you place someone in danger, you won't be able to pull them out. I would have caught you, Nita protests. But you didn't, did you? He asks her before taking a step on a long stride. There's some food vendors with their carts in the distance, and something solid in his gut will help stabilize his mood. Only because you caught yourself, the sisters protest. He ignores them as he fingers the hole in his shirt sleeve. It will need sewing to close it up. Thankfully, he can feel the stretching already beginning to fix itself, which is good as he's not quite sure how to unstretch a shirt. He simply rolls up the sleeves so they don't hang down and stop him from using his hands. Whether they wanted to or not, the girls had just reminded him that he just wasn't safe on Centris. On or off duty, not only could he be attacked by a criminal organization, but sheer stupidity could also be a massive threat. Hey, hello, I just had a bit of a scare and need something big and filling to help settle my stomach. What do you recommend? He asks the vendor, who looks startled before glancing towards Nika, and Nita are trailing after him in silence. He looks over his shoulder at his subdued and contrite wives. Either of you want anything? You forgive me, Nita asks in surprise, and Koa frowns. Not yet, and not for a bit, but eventually. Do either of you want anything? He offers, and he receives happy smiles as both of them zip up and hug him around the back. You're a good man. I'd have been angry a lot longer myself. You saw that? Half the spire saw that Mr. saves himself then lectures. The vendor remarks. Oh joy, just what I need. Fame. Koa groans and she giggles out loud.